We're already 2 episodes into HBO's Watchmen series, and we've already seen a big reaction from the audience. On YouTube, you can already check out countless videos talking about Easter eggs and theories, including some by us. And you can also check out a bunch of podcasts that are discussing this ad nauseum, including us. But if you feel like there's just still not enough Watchmen discussion in your life, don't worry, because now there is supplemental material in the form of Peteypedia. Have you not heard about Peteypedia yet? Well, come with me. We're going to do a little bit of an overview on this. Hi, I'm Grant Davis with Pods the Watchmen, a weekly companion podcast for the HBO Watchmen series. We're doing a series of video deep dives into a lot of the different components of the Watchmen universe, and this week I want to talk about the Peteypedia files. In this first video, we are going to be talking about just the first file, the memo about Rorschach and Adrian Veidt and the Peteypedia files. And I want to warn you that there are going to be spoilers, so if you don't want that, if you haven't watched the stuff yet, maybe skip it for now. Come back later. The 1986 release of the graphic novel Watchmen was groundbreaking in its storytelling, receiving critical acclaim. It is also notable that at the end of every single chapter, excluding the final chapter, there was supplemental information expanding upon the world of Watchmen with news articles and interviews that added more texture to the world of Watchmen. Damon Lindelof, creator of the HBO TV show, has also played around with doing supplemental information in the form of ARGs like the Lost Experience for his show Lost, where there would be fictional websites dedicated to particular characters or foundations, and there would be other little side videos that you could hunt for online. And it added to this experience and this engagement with the viewers and the show. Peteypedia is a collection of links to articles and memos and documentation collected by an individual named Agent Dale Petey of the Anti-Vigilante Task Force, a subdivision of the FBI. With each new release of an episode, it seems like the site is updating with additional files that this Agent Dale Petey is releasing to the general audience on this back channel website that he's created. For the first episode of the show, he released a File 1, which contained 4 documents. The first link is an internal memo from Agent Petey to his fellow members in the Anti-Vigilante Task Force of the FBI. He's making the argument that they not close the case file on the disappearance of Adrian Veidt and declare him officially dead. He goes a little bit into the backstory of some of the events we're already familiar with from the comic book, about Rorschach and Adrian Veidt and the missing diary. He also gives some very interesting details about where the world stands now in relation to where it was then and fills in some of the gaps. For example, we now know a bit more information about the ramifications of Rorschach's diary. It has created a fringe cult, and Agent Petey has decided they are very dangerous, and with the declaration by the FBI that Veidt is officially declared dead, he fears there's going to be retaliation from the 7th Cavalry and other fringe Rorschach cult groups that think this is just another cover-up from law enforcement. We also learn the whereabouts of some of the original Watchmen characters. Dan Dreiberg, aka Night Owl, is apparently now in federal custody. He was picked up alongside his partner, Silk Spectre, aka Laurie Giuseppe, aka Agent Laurie Blake. What we can infer from this is that Dan did not cooperate with the FBI, but Laurie must have in some capacity. And maybe they were on the outs with each other, and they were operating independently. But they seem to have gotten picked up together. Also in the interceding years between 1986, during the Squid attack, and 1993, when they got picked up by the FBI, Laurie has gone through a series of name changes. She was Laurie Giuseppe, Laurie Jupiter, then she went under the name Laurie Hollis for a little bit, but now she's using the last name Blake, which it turns out was her estranged father's name, the comedian, aka Edward Blake. This is a fascinating detail that really goes into the psychology of Laurie. She grew up absolutely hating this guy, but clearly she must have come around to embracing that part of her identity, as she now has that as her surname. It also mentions that she went for a time no longer as Silk Spectre, but as the comedienne. Maybe she didn't realize what a complete shithead her actual father was. We now know that there is a special anti-vigilante task force operating as a subdivision of the FBI, of which Agent Laurie Blake and Agent Dale Petey are members. Another fun little aspect of this memo is that Agent Dale Petey is diagnosing a lot of the Watchmen superheroes on the Werther spectrum scale. For example, Rorschach is described as an objective sociopath, whereas Ozymandias is a savior narcissist. Night Owl is called a thrill seeker nostalgic, and Dr. Manhattan is overman / passive aggressive. He does note in regards to Silk Spectre, out of respect for Agent Blake, who has consistently objected to the science of the Werther spectrum tool, I shall refrain from diagnosing her. November 2nd, 1985 was the day that Ozymandias released the squid upon New York and caused mass destruction across the planet. This is also known as the Dimensional Incursion Event, or DIE. Ultimately, this memo serves the purpose of trying to warn the FBI that declaring Adrian Veidt officially dead is going to stir up more resentment amongst the cult and potentially cause a war. And in the show, what we're seeing is right at the moment that the newspapers are declaring Adrian Veidt officially dead, that is when the tensions are mounting up in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and the 7th Cavalry seem to be making a move. Maybe Agent Petey was onto something here. If you guys have theories of your own, please leave them in the comments. We would love to hear what you guys are thinking about all of this. There are a lot more files that I'm going to be pouring through in the upcoming videos. But until then, please go ahead and like this video, subscribe, follow us at podsthewatchmen.com, and we appreciate all of your support.